Hey now, PGH Comic Expert here, going through a recent haul. Wanted to start off with some books that I found online, as well as books that I had picked up at that. I've mentioned it before. There's a pawn shop near where I work where they, you know, buy and sell comics. Well, at least that's what they're trying to get into, as well, amongst other things. So they're not really comic guys, but I did manage to find some decent priced. A couple of them are in rough shape, but I got them as a bit of a package deal. Books there that just, I had to have. I love the covers, even though some of them were kind of beat. So let's start off with this one. This is Fantastic Four 232. I did already show a copy of this in a last haul video. This is the first John Byrne on the title. This is actually the direct edition, as you can see in the corner there. There's Spidey. It is not the other one I have is the newsstand. And this was a part of a big eBay auction that I literally paid. I think I ended up paying right around $1 a book for these. And they're just great because John Byrne, Fantastic Four, it's really hard to beat that. Some of the best writing and artwork for the story. Almost as good as Jack Kirby's artwork. So got a few of those. Got 246, a bunch of Doombots, 247, classic Doctor Doom cover, 250. I think this is the first unofficial appearance of X-Factor. It does say X-Factor on the bottom part of the cover, but I think this is an early or pre-appearance. I do believe X-Factor first appeared in Fantastic Four. And I don't have that issue yet, but I should have it soon. 251. Alright, here's an interesting one. 252. So as you can see, you can take it long ways. This is an interesting story. This is part of the Negative Zone story that continues on for a good while in Fantastic Four. If you look closely, so this is the Lakeside Skin Tattoos. Interesting story about those. This is one of the two books that actually has these. The other one is Amazing Spider-Man 238, which I haven't shown you that one yet. I actually don't have a copy with the tattoos there. But people rave over these tattoos, and I haven't even opened this book to see if they're in there, and I really don't care, because according to Guide, it doesn't matter if they are or not in there. But people rave over the other one, because that's the first Hobgoblin, and if it's not with the tattoos, which mine isn't, but they say it's not worth anything, but really, I'd beg to differ. They, whoever they are. Okay, 254. 255, classic cover where Reed is actually stuck in the Negative Zone. And here is probably one of the best John Byrne covers. This is 257. Awesome Galactus cover. This is the issue after Reed Richards saved Galactus's life, and then in order to continue to survive or recover, Galactus destroys the Skrull homeworld. So this book here actually leads up to one of the best, one of Marvel has reported this as one of the best stories in their 75 years as the trial of Reed Richards, where Reed is on trial for saving Galactus. Alright, 270. As you notice, that's She-Hulk and Namor on the cover. Thing is at this point not in the Fantastic Four. And 280. Also, you have She-Hulk on there as opposed to Thing. Alright, well that's all the Fantastic Four books. Go ahead and start off with one of the books I grabbed at that pawn shop. This is Shazam miniseries number 2. I grabbed this because this is Black Adam on the cover, and it seems like anything with Black Adam right now is growing following and popularity. I didn't pay a lot of money for this book. Actually, according to that package deal, if you average it out, I didn't pay anything for it. I might try to get the whole miniseries just to say, because I think it is all Black Adam, and it is a new beginning for Shazam. I know there's a movie coming out, and if it's DC, it's probably going to be dark and not really lighthearted like all of the Marvel movies. Okay, Batman 437. This is Year 3, Part 2. I always manage to find these miniseries, and I have 10 Nights of the Beast, Parts 3 and 4, which is the first appearance of KG Beast, which he was on Gotham, and now this is the first appearance of, I believe, Tim Drake, but this is Part 2 of it. Every time I go to find these Batman books, I never seem to find them in just random backstock complete. I usually find odd numbers like 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and in this instance here I actually found 2 and Part 3. Again, didn't really pay hardly anything for these. Now this next Batman book, this one is in rough shape. You can see it's got some issues. You look close enough, there is a stain on the cover. Didn't notice that when I got it, but again, it was part of that deal where I got a gift from. He threw in this. I'm not going to say it because my son sometimes watches these videos, but he did throw in. We bundled together with a gift that I bought for my son way before Christmas, but he's been wanting it for a long time. So I packaged a bunch of comics in with that, and I ended up not really paying anything for a good bit of these books. Now here's another one. Now this book would have been great had somebody not let the tape stick to the cover. I actually noticed that when I changed the bag. If you look here, it's missing a couple of patches on the cover, and I happen to notice that those missing pieces are stuck to the tape that were on the old bag. So other than that, this is a really nice book, and it is a classic cover. If you look this up on eBay in better shape than this, it's a pretty nice, nicely priced book. I believe that's Neal Adams too. Neal Adams is a prick, but I do like his artwork. Okay, Detective Comics 407. This is an early Man-Bat appearance, which, by the way, that book there, I believe that is the second or third Man-Bat. I want to say it's the second, because I know he first appeared in Detective Comics 400, but I don't think he was in 401. Man-Bat has been... He's not as well loved as, like, the Joker in the Batman villain world, but he is a pretty prolific character in at least some of the later books. He looks a lot different there and here. Kind of looks like a mouse. Than he does later on. They've made him look a little bit more gruesome. Okay, I did find 408. That is in great shape, that cover. I also believe, like I said, I didn't open these to look in the inside, but I do think these are Neal Adams covers. His name's not on the cover, but not a lot of artists signed their covers back then. And then last we did get Batman 410. So, decent haul this time around. Didn't really cost me a lot of money. I probably got all of these for less than $30. Just because, if you average out what I paid per book, I mean, it was pretty cheap. I mean, those Fantastic Four books alone, the ones that I got on auction, I ended up paying around $1 a book. Or less than $1 a book. So, I've got a few more I want to show off today. And not a lot of people remember that there was a comics boom in the 90s. Well, a lot of people do, but they don't remember it fizzling out. And just about every company out there wanted to get their hands on comics and start producing comics. So I'm going to go through some books here that are not your typical brand. This one I didn't change the bag on it yet. Found that in a discount bin. That is Jurassic Park #1. That is the first ever appearance of Jurassic Park in a comic book. That is by Topps Comics. I actually have a whole binder full of these books. And you're probably wondering why. Because it is Topps. It's like, well, who cares? Who gives a shit? It's Topps. They make baseball cards. But I want to show some of these off. So, this is Silver Star #1. This is actually one of the last books that Topps produced. And I want to show you that. So what does that say? That says Jack Kirby. So later in Jack's life, he had released some artwork of his, concept characters like Silver Star, that he wanted to get produced, and Topps Comics actually made it happen. So, moving along, this is a nice one. This is Vlad the Impaler #1, the the Blood Red Retailer Incentive version. So, Reader's Choice, or whatever the hell it is now, Weirton Book Company, he had one of these, and was like, again, just like you said to me about this Platinum Superman, Death of Superman, you kids will never be able to afford this. Well, the price tag on that says $20, but I literally paid $5 for it. So, hey, Dave, if you're listening, bite me. Okay. Then we have the original copy of Vlad the Impaler #1. Now, all of these, except the retailer incentive, they were polybagged, and I hate polybags. They were polybagged to come with a trading card, but people, some of the collectors back then, or shop owners, were like, oh, don't open the polybag because you'll ruin the value and it'll go down and it won't be worth anything. Well, it was printed in the 90s, so most likely it's not worth anything. And polybags can suck ass, because how are you supposed to get a comic graded or appraised if it's in a friggin' polybag? So I'm very anti-polybag. I've been opening them as I get them. The only one I haven't opened, I've got the Platinum Death and Revival of Superman, just because I like the black polybag with the silver. Alright. Vlad the Impaler #2. These are actually, had some Mike Mignola artwork in them. Vlad #3. Okay, and now here is where we actually step into some of the Kirbyverse. So, Night Glider. That's a Kirby character. These are one-shots, by the way. Captain Glory. And here's another one-shot. Bombast. Now these were all Jack Kirby creations, all leading up to, and I don't believe I've completed this miniseries yet. I'm working on it. Jack Kirby's Secret City Saga. So we got Book 0, Book 1, and Book 2, and yes, that is Bill Clinton on the cover. Okay, not a Jack Kirby creation, but I did get this because this character did become a little popular, and this book, in the great condition, you could probably get a pretty penny for this one. This is actually the first appearance of Lady Rawhide. She is on the cover, and that's Legend of Zorro #3. Okay, moving right along. More Jack Kirby. Got Satan 6 #1. These were so cheap. #2. That's a Mike Zeck cover, I believe. #3. And last but not least, #4, guest starring none other than Jason Voorhees. Except they called him Jason, I think, in this one, just Jason. Alright. Well, enjoy the video. Would appreciate some feedback. And if you're new, hopefully you'll subscribe, because I'm going to be continuing to post some pretty cool stuff on here. Just wait, I have my Vault video that has yet to be published. And if you are a comics fan, and you love key issues, and you love even learning about oddball key issues, you want to watch the Vault video. Haven't posted it yet, waiting to get a nice number of subscribers before I do. But I don't think you'll be disappointed when I do. Peace!